There is a lie that has been whispered into your ear since you were a child. It is a soft, comforting lie, one that feels like safety but acts like a cage. The lie is this: that if you are a good person, if you work hard enough, and if you wait patiently enough, the world will eventually hand you what you deserve. You have been told to wait for your turn. You have been told to hope for the best. You have been trained to look at the horizon and wish for a ship to come in, carrying your fortune, your opportunity, and your destiny. But look at your life. Look honestly at the years that have slipped through your fingers. How much has hoping actually given you? Hope is not a strategy. Hope is a sedative. It keeps you calm while your life drifts away. It keeps you passive while others claim the prizes you secretly believe belong to you. The harsh, liberating truth is that the universe does not respond to need. It does not respond to wishing. It does not respond to the silent pleas of the man who waits in line. The universe responds to one thing and one thing only: command. To command is not to shout. It is not to force your will upon others with arrogance. To command is to align yourself so perfectly with the laws of success that the outcome becomes inevitable. It is to move with such definiteness, such clarity, and such absolute resolve that the world has no choice but to reorganize itself around you. This is the law of inevitable success. It is not magic, it is physics. It is the psychological and spiritual mechanics of achievement. When you stop hoping and start commanding, you cease to be a creature of circumstance and become the architect of your own reality. Think of the great titans of history. Think of Andrew Carnegie, a man who came from the dust of poverty to build an empire of steel. Do you think he stood on the shores of America and hoped someone would give him a chance? Do you think Henry Ford hoped the world would understand his vision for the horseless carriage? No. These men did not hope. They decided. And once they decided, they moved with a vibration of certainty that repelled doubt and attracted opportunity. You must understand that there is a radio frequency in the human mind. Most people are broadcasting on the frequency of maybe. Maybe I'll succeed. Maybe I'm good enough. Maybe this is the year. And because their broadcast is weak, static-filled, and uncertain, the signal they receive back from life is equally weak and chaotic. The commander broadcasts on a different frequency. He broadcasts on the frequency of, "It is done." He does not ask the world for permission to exist. He declares his existence, and the world adjusts. This shift from the passive hoper to the active commander is the single most important psychological event of your life. It is the moment you sign a peace treaty with your potential and declare war on your mediocrity. But why is this so difficult? Why do 98% of people drift through life, accepting whatever scraps fall from the table of the 2%? It is because commanding requires you to abandon the safety of the victim mindset. As long as you are hoping, you are not responsible. If you hope for success and it doesn't come, you can blame the economy. You can blame the government. You can blame your upbringing. You can say, "Well, I hoped for it, but it wasn't in the cards." When you start commanding, you strip yourself of all excuses. You stand naked before the mirror of destiny. If you command success and do not achieve it, there is no one to blame but the figure in the glass. This terrifies the weak, but it electrifies the strong, because if the responsibility is yours, then the power is yours. You cannot have the power without the responsibility. You must drink the cup of both. You must begin by killing the drifter inside you. Napoleon Hill spoke of the drifter, the man who lets his mind float on the currents of fear and public opinion. The drifter has no rudder. He goes where the wind blows. If the news is bad, he is depressed. If his friends criticize him, he quits. If the path gets hard, he turns back. He is a leaf in a storm. The commander is the storm. The commander sets a course and holds the rudder with an iron grip. The winds may blow, the waves may crash, the hull may creak, but the course does not change. This is the quality that separates the dreamer from the doer. The dreamer has a wish. The commander has a definite chief aim. Let us speak of this definite chief aim, for it is the seed from which the tree of your fortune must grow. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and you cannot command a result you have not defined. Most people want more money. or more happiness, or better health. These are not commands, these are vague complaints. The universe cannot fulfill a fuzzy request. Imagine you walked into a restaurant and told the waiter, "Bring me some food." He would stand there confused. He might bring you soup when you wanted steak. He might bring you water when you wanted wine, and you would be frustrated. Yet this is exactly how you treat the infinite intelligence that governs your life. You send out vague signals of, "I want success," and you are surprised when life serves you confusion. You must be precise. You must be exact. The law of inevitable success demands specificity. What exactly do you want? Write it down. Not on a computer, not in your phone, but with pen on paper. The physical act of transmuting thought into reality. I will possess $10 million by the 1st of January, 5 years from now. I will build a company that serves 1 million people. I will become the greatest orator of my generation. Notice the language. Not, "I hope to," not, "I would like to," but "I will." This is the language of command. When you state it with clarity, you cut through the ether of confusion. You give your subconscious mind a direct order, and the subconscious mind is a faithful soldier. It does not question the general. It only obeys. If you give it a command filled with emotion and repetition, it will work day and night, while you sleep and while you wake, to bring you the people, the circumstances, and the ideas to fulfill that order. But be warned. A command without belief is a car without an engine. You can sit in the driver's seat and turn the wheel, but you will not move. Belief is the fuel. But we are not talking about the passive belief of a spectator. We are talking about faith, not necessarily in a religious sense, though that is powerful, but faith is a state of mind. Applied faith. Napoleon Hill discovered that faith is a chemical state of the mind. It is a vibration. When you mix thought with the emotion of faith, you change the magnetic polarity of your brain. You literally become a magnet for the physical equivalent of that thought. Think of Thomas Edison. He did not just think about the electric light. He did not just hope he could solve the problem. He knew it was possible with such intensity that 10,000 failures meant nothing to him. 10,000 times the world told him no. 10,000 times the physical evidence shouted, "This is impossible." But Edison was not listening to the physical evidence. He was listening to the command in his own soul. He saw the light burning in his mind long before it burned in his laboratory. This is the secret you must master. The reality you see with your eyes is the past. It is the result of your past thoughts and actions. If you look at your bank account today and see emptiness, that is just the echo of your past thinking. Do not let the echo dictate your future voice. The commander ignores the current circumstances and focuses entirely on the vision of what must be. He lives in the feeling of the wish fulfilled before the wish arrives. You must learn to walk in the feeling of success before the money touches your hand. You must carry yourself with the posture of a king before you have a kingdom. You must speak with the authority of a leader before you have followers. This is not faking it. This is forging it. You are forging the energetic mold into which the molten gold of reality will pour. If you wait to see it before you believe it, you are acting like a common animal, relying only on your senses. But you are not a common animal. You are a creator, endowed with the faculty of imagination. You have the power to see what is not there. And by seeing it with intensity, you compel it to appear. This brings us to the fire that makes the engine run: desire, not a wish. A wish is lukewarm. A wish is, "I'd like to be rich, but I don't want to be uncomfortable." A wish is, "I want to be fit, but I love cake more." That is not desire. That is a preference. We are talking about a burning desire. A desire so hot, so all-consuming, that it burns all bridges behind you. You must reach a point where you say, "I will succeed," or "I will die trying." There is no option B. There is no safety net. When Julius Caesar landed on the shores of Britain to conquer the land, he saw his soldiers looking nervously at their ships, thinking about retreat if the battle went poorly. Do you know what he did? He ordered the ships to be burned. He stood his men on the beach and watched their only exit go up in flames. He told them, "Now we win or we perish." And they won. You must burn your ships. You must cut off the avenues of retreat to your old life. As long as you have a safety plan to go back to mediocrity, you will not fight with the ferocity required for greatness. The subconscious mind works best under pressure. When it knows there is no retreat, it unlocks reserves of genius, stamina, and creativity that you did not know you possessed. Stop telling yourself, if this business fails, I'll just go back to my old job. No. Tell yourself, this cannot fail, because I will not let it. That shift in psychology changes everything. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you shake a hand. It changes how you handle rejection. The person who has burned their ships does not hear no. They hear, not this way, try another way. They become fluid. They become relentless like water. Water does not stop when it hits a rock. It flows around over, or eventually through it. But desire and belief must be harnessed by the harness of discipline. Motivation gets you started, habit keeps you going. But we are not talking about the discipline of a schoolmaster whipping a student. We are talking about self-discipline, the master key to riches. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. The amateur waits for inspiration. The professional, the commander, gets to work. Do you think the titans of industry feel motivated every single morning at 400 a.m.? Do you think the Olympic athlete feels excited to train in the freezing rain? No, their feelings are irrelevant. Their commitment is absolute. They have subordinated their lower self, the part that wants comfort, sleep, and ease, to their higher self, the part that demands glory. You must become the master of your own mind. Napoleon Hill said that the only thing you have absolute control over is your own mental attitude. If you cannot control your mind, you cannot control your life. It is that simple. When the alarm goes off, who wins? The voice that says, 5 more minutes, or the voice that says, it is time to conquer. That battle, fought in the first 3 seconds of the morning, dictates the war of the day. If you lose to the pillow, you have already accepted defeat before your feet hit the floor. Win the morning, and you win the momentum. Win the momentum, and you win the day. And a successful life is nothing more than a series of successful days stacked one on top of the other like bricks in a cathedral. You cannot build the cathedral all at once, but you can lay one brick perfectly today. Then you do it again tomorrow. That is how empires are raised, not by the sweeping gesture of a giant hand, but by the disciplined, repetitive motion of a focused mind. But let us be clear, discipline is not just about restriction. It is about liberation. When you discipline your whims, your lazy urges, and your fleeting emotions, you liberate your will. You become a force of nature. You stop being a slave to your impulses and become the master of your destiny. The commander does not negotiate with his weakness. He crushes it. He recognizes that the voice whispering, "Take it easy," is the voice of the enemy, designed to keep him average, designed to keep him small, designed to keep him in his place. And once you are moving, once you have engaged the gears of discipline, you must couple that energy with organized planning. Effort alone is not enough. A man on a treadmill is working hard. He is sweating, his heart is pounding, but he is going nowhere. You do not want movement, you want progress. You do not want to be busy, you want to be effective. Napoleon Hill observed that the man who succeeds is the man who has a plan. It does not have to be a perfect plan. In fact, waiting for the perfect plan is the greatest thief of dreams. It is a form of sophisticated procrastination. You hide behind the excuse of research and preparation because you are terrified of the arena. The commander enters the arena with the plan he has. He executes it with violence of action. And when, not if, but when, he meets resistance, when the plan fails, he does not surrender the goal. He merely replaces the plan. This is where most people break. They confuse the plan with the destination. They try one way, they fail, and they say, well, I guess I wasn't meant to be rich. I guess I wasn't meant to be a leader. That is the logic of a child. If you are driving home and you encounter a roadblock, do you turn the car around and drive off a cliff? Do you sit there and cry? No. You find a detour, another route. You go off-road if you must, but you get home. Your definite chief aim is your home. It is your North Star. It is fixed. The path to get there is flexible. The path is fluid. The path is a series of experiments, pivots, and adaptations. But the destination is non-negotiable. To navigate this terrain, you must realize that you cannot do it alone. The myth of the self-made man is just that, a myth. No man climbs the mountain of great achievement without the help of others. This brings us to the principle of the mastermind. He'll define the mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Think of a battery. A single battery provides a small amount of energy, but link a dozen batteries together, and the power is multiplied, not added. The human mind is a form of energy. When two minds come together in a spirit of harmony, they create a third invisible mind, the mastermind, which operates at a higher frequency than either could alone. Look at your circle. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they commanders? Or are they drifters? Are they talking about ideas, vision, and growth? Or are they talking about people, drama, and the news? You are the average of the signals you surround yourself with. If you are surrounded by static, you will produce static. If you are surrounded by fire, you will catch fire. You must ruthlessly curate your environment. This is not cruelty, it is self-preservation. If you are trying to fly like an eagle, you cannot hang around people who are content to scratch in the dirt like chickens. They will pull you down, not because they hate you, but because your flight reminds them of their own gravity. Your success shines a light on their inaction, and that light burns, so they will try to extinguish it. They will say, be realistic. They will say, don't get your hopes up. They will say, who do you think you are? The commander smiles, closes the door, and keeps working. He seeks out the giants. He aligns himself with people who are playing the game at a level that makes him uncomfortable. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You need to be in a room where you are challenged, where your thinking is stretched, where your impossible is someone else's normal. That is how you grow. You absorb the vibration of success through osmosis. But acquiring knowledge and surrounding yourself with genius is useless if you do not understand the difference between knowledge and power. We have been taught that knowledge is power. This is false. Knowledge is only potential power. It is a library full of books sitting in the dark. It becomes power only when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. The world is full of educated derelicts. Men and women with degrees upon degrees, walking encyclopedias who cannot pay their rent. Why? Because they are hoarding knowledge like dragons hoarding gold, but they never spend it. They never transmute what they know into what they do. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to be a genius in every field. Henry Ford was once dragged into court and called ignorant by a newspaper. To prove it, the lawyers asked him trivial questions about history and politics. Ford finally stopped them and said, I have a row of electric push buttons on my desk. If I want to know about history, I push a button and call a historian. If I want to know about engineering, I call my engineer. Why should I clutter my mind with general knowledge when I can access the specialized knowledge of the world through my mastermind? That is the mindset of the commander. He is not a storage unit for facts. He is an engine of execution. He knows how to get the knowledge he needs, when he needs it, to solve the problem in front of him. He is resourceful. He is relentless. And as you begin to execute, as you begin to command your reality, you will encounter the great invisible barrier, the barrier that has stopped more dreams than poverty, more dreams than illness, more dreams than bad luck combined. That barrier is fear. Fear is the shadow of the drifter. It is the ghost in the machine. Napoleon Hill identified the 6 ghosts of fear: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. But they all boil down to one thing: the fear of the unknown, the fear that you are not enough. You cannot eliminate fear. Fear is biological. It is the alarm system of the body. But you can master it. You can domesticate it. You can make it walk behind you instead of in front of you. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. The commander feels the fear. the tightening of the chest, the dryness of the mouth, the racing heart. And he interprets it not as a signal to stop, but as a signal to go. Physiologically, the sensation of fear and the sensation of excitement are almost identical. It is the mind that labels them. When you feel that adrenaline spike, do not say, "I am afraid." Say, "I am ready." Say, "My body is preparing me for battle." Reframe the sensation. Turn the anxiety into fuel. You must confront the ghost of fear, specifically the fear of criticism. How many brilliant ideas have died in the womb because the creator was afraid of what they would say? Who is they? They are the spectators. They are the ones in the cheap seats. They are the ones who have never stepped into the ring. Why would you value the opinion of a spectator over the conviction of your own soul? When you start commanding, you will be criticized. Expect it. Welcome it. It is the tax you pay for distinction. If nobody is criticizing you, it is because you are doing nothing worthy of note. You are blending in. You are camouflage. To be great is to be misunderstood. To be great is to be a target. Wear that target like a badge of honor. It means you are moving. It means you are disrupting the status quo. And what if you fail? What if you command and plan and act and still you fall flat on your face? Then you rejoice. Yes, you rejoice. Because you have just discovered the great secret that the masses miss. Every adversity, every failure, every heart-touch carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is not just a comforting saying, it is a law of nature. Energy is never destroyed, it is only transformed. The energy of a failure is not lost. It is stored potential, waiting to be transmuted into wisdom. Most people stop at the failure. They look at the wreckage and say, "It's over." The commander looks at the wreckage and sees raw materials. He asks, "What is the lesson here? What is the asset hidden in this disaster?" Maybe the failure forced you to build a better product. Maybe it introduced you to a partner you wouldn't have met otherwise. Maybe it humbled you and destroyed an ego that was holding you back. Maybe it toughened your skin so you could handle the bigger challenges waiting at the next level. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times to create the light bulb. When asked about it, he didn't say, "I failed." He said, "I have successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." That is the alchemy of the mind. That is the ability to turn the lead of defeat into the gold of experience. You must develop the habit of insistent persistence. Persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. It is the hardening agent. Without it, you are brittle. With it, you are unbreakable. The universe has a habit of testing the person who makes a bold command. It wants to know if you are serious. It will throw an obstacle in your path just to see if you will turn around. It is a test of your resolve. If you turn back, you fail the test, and you remain in the drifting masses. If you climb over, go under, or smash through, the universe nods and opens the gate. It says, "Pass. This one is real." Quitting is a habit. Persistence is a habit. Which one are you feeding? Every time you quit when it gets hard, you are training your subconscious mind that hard equals stop. You are wiring your brain for failure. But every time you push through the pain, every time you stay the course, when every fiber of your being wants to run, you are wiring your brain for victory. You are building the neural pathways of a champion. And this persistence must be sustained by auto-suggestion. You must become the guardian of the gateway to your mind. We live in a world that is constantly trying to program you with fear, scarcity, and limitation. The news, social media, gossip. It is all a torrent of negative suggestion. If you are passive, you absorb it. You become it. The commander stands at the gate of his mind with a flaming sword. He does not let a single negative thought enter without a challenge. And more importantly, he proactively plants the seeds he wants to grow. He talks to himself, not the mutterings of a madman, but the declarations of a sovereign. You must have a script. You must have a mantra. You must look yourself in the eye every single day and affirm your reality. I am the architect of my life. I am a magnet for prosperity. I am relentless. I am unstoppable. At first, your subconscious might reject it. It might say, "No, you're not. You're broke. You're tired. You're a failure." But you keep speaking. You keep commanding. You use the power of repetition. Repetition is the hammer that drives the nail of belief into the beam of the soul. Eventually, the subconscious yields. It accepts the new command. And once it accepts the command, it begins to manifest the reality. This is not magic. It is the re-engineering of your self-image. You cannot outperform your self-image. If you see yourself as a $30 a year person, you will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that tries to bring you 300,000. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel like an imposter. You will find a way to lose it. But if you use suggestion to expand your thermostat, to convince your internal self that you are a multi-million-dollar earner, then when the opportunity comes, you will seize it. You will feel it is natural. You will feel it is yours. You must visualize this future not as a distant picture, but as a present fact. Close your eyes and feel the texture of the steering wheel of the car you will drive. Smell the ocean air from the balcony of the house you will build. Hear the applause as you walk onto the stage. Feel the handshake of the partner you will sign. Make it so real in your mind that opening your eyes feels like the dream and the vision feels like reality. This is the workshop of the imagination. It is where all wealth is created. Before a skyscraper is built, it is a blueprint. Before it is a blueprint, it is a thought. Every tangible thing you see in this world, the phone in your hand, the clothes on your back, the buildings around you, was once nothing more than an invisible impulse in the mind of a human being. You are a creator. But are you creating by design or by default? Are you building a masterpiece or are you building a prison? The choice is made in the silence of your own mind. It is made in the dark hours of the morning. It is made in the moments of defeat. It is made right now. There is a concept called the extra mile. Napoleon Hill called it the habit of doing more than you are paid for. In a transactional world, everyone wants to do the bare minimum. They want the maximum return for the minimum investment. This is the philosophy of the poor. It is the philosophy of the bartender. The commander understands the law of overcompensation. If you render more service and better service than you are paid for, you place the universe in your debt. You create a vacuum of value that must be filled. It is impossible to render useful service without eventually receiving a reward. It may not come today. It may not come from the person you served. But it will come. It will come pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Be the person who always delivers more. Be the person who brings excellence to the task, even if the task is small. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you are sloppy with the small things, you will be sloppy with the empire. If you cheat on the small details, you will be crushed by the large responsibilities. Build a reputation for excellence. Let your name become synonymous with quality, with reliability, with speed. In a world of mediocrity, excellence is a superpower. It makes you indispensable. It makes you magnetic. But realize this, the path of the commander is a lonely path at times. As you ascend the mountain, the air gets thinner. The crowd gets smaller. You will look around and see that many who started with you have set up camp at the lower plateaus. They have settled. They found a comfortable ledge, built a fire, and decided, this is good enough. Do not judge them. Bless them. But do not join them. You are called to the summit. And the summit is not a place of rest. It is a place of view. It is a place where you can see the horizon that others cannot. It is a place of responsibility. And as you climb, you must guard your greatest asset, your sexual energy. This is a topic often whispered about, but Hill was loud and clear. The drive that creates life is the most potent force in the human body. It is the raw material of genius. Most men waste it. They dissipate it in frivolous pursuit, in momentary pleasure, in lack of control. The commander practices sexual transmutation. He takes that raw, driving, creative urge and redirects it. He does not suppress it. He channels it. He pours that fire into his business, his art, his mission. He turns physical drive into psychic power. This is the secret of charisma. This is the magnetic quality that draws people in. It is not just confidence, it is vitality. It is life force, concentrated and directed. When you harness this energy, you become tireless. You become focused. You possess a creative imagination that solves problems others find impossible. You are tapping into the source code of creation itself. Now, Let us speak of the specialized instrument you need to navigate the final stages of this ascent, the sixth sense. This is not spooky mysticism. It is the apex of mental mastery. When your mind is disciplined, when your emotions are controlled, when your body is healthy, and when your purpose is clear, you begin to receive flashes of intuition, hunches, sudden ideas that seem to drop from the sky. This is the infinite intelligence communicating with you. It is the still small voice that warns you of danger or alerts you to opportunity. The drifter ignores these hunches. He calls them coincidences. He drowns them out with noise. The commander listens. He learns to trust that gut feeling, that vibration that says, go left, when the map says, go right. He understands that his conscious mind is a limited processor, but his subconscious connection to the infinite is a supercomputer. To access this, you must cultivate moments of silence. You cannot hear the whisper of genius in the middle of a rock concert. You need solitude. You need time to think. You need to disconnect from the matrix of digital noise and plug into the source of universal wisdom. Make time for the silence. Ask the question, then listen for the answer. It may not come immediately. It may come while you are in the shower, or driving, or walking in the woods. But if you command the answer to come, it will come. You are building a machine made of habits, thoughts, alliances, and actions. And the output of this machine is your destiny. Do not look at the current state of the world and lose heart. Do not look at the headlines and tremble. Great fortunes are made during times of change. Great leaders are forged in times of crisis. While the masses are panicking, the commander is planning. While the masses are shrinking, the commander is expanding. This is your time. The deck is being reshuffled. The old guard is tired. The old systems are creaking. There is a vacancy at the top. Who will fill it? Why not you?